So let's hear what he's going to say.
And please, when I make this analogy, I don't want you to try and get caught up in the analogy because I'm about to compare a woman to a car. Do not say you're comparing women to cars. That's low IQ.
See, that's like objectifying women, right? And that's how a lot of, and if you were to sit here and talk to a woman about this, I've spoken to other people about this, and I can see how it triggers them, bro. I can see how it's like, oh, they've had this conversation before, and they feel almost like they're not human, and they're being disrespected just by using up an analogy or metaphor or whatever, comparing women to anything. They just don't want to be compared, period. But by not understanding what the other person is going to say, by not listening, you're not understanding the logical reasoning on why they feel territorial. That's how they express themselves, and they're trying to make you understand. So you just have to be open to listen to it. At the very least, just listen to it. If you want to disagree with it, that's fine, but listen to the whole thing and then disagree with it. 3, 2, 1, and we're live. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me on another episode of Jesus Talks. All right, ladies and gentlemen, today I'm going to go over the XQC video about Andrew Tate Andrew Tate talking to XQC about his girl clubbing, all right? How do you handle a situation in which your girl is clubbing? Like, should you allow her to go? You know, you have some guys that are completely okay with letting their girl go clubbing, and then you have the other side of guys who are just like, nah, like you cannot go clubbing. And obviously women feel some kind of way about it. When a guy tries to explain it to his girl, he doesn't know exactly how to explain it to her, and she feels restricted. So let's see what Andrew Tate says. Let's see what XQC says. Let's just jump right into the reaction video. Let's go.
With 7 other girls to the club. In my personal experience, I'd be unhappy for her to do that because I've been the man in the club that those 7 girls turn up to and end up on his table, and I know what happens. I've lived a very, very long life. I know how that ends. Now,
so you see, he knows exactly what happens because he's that guy. He's that guy at the clubs that's picking up these girls. So a lot of these girls do have boyfriends, bro. Some of them do. Not all of them, but some of them do. And guess what? Their boyfriend is just cool with it. So unless they're in an open relationship and it's cool to be fucking around and fucking about, you know, you're taking that risk. You're taking that big risk. And then women will literally just say, oh, it's about trust. And it is about trust. It is. And it's about communication. But I want to hear what this man's going to say.
I think that, and I've discussed this already before. I think I discussed this yesterday with Dave Portnoy, which he got upset about. I discussed that if I'm going to be in a relationship and I'm going to have responsibility over a woman, which I want to have because it's my masculine imperative, I should also have a degree of authority that comes with that responsibility. If I'm responsible for her safety, for example, but she refuses to obey me when I say don't walk home in the middle of the night, then how can I truly be responsible? Responsibility and authority are linked. I'm responsible for her because I'm her man and I take the best care of her. I might know things she doesn't know. She might be 19 years old and think going to the club's all fine. I'm 35. I've been around. I've seen what happens to clubs. No, you don't need to go there. I'm responsible for you. I take care of you. And by extension, I have authority to say to you, you're not going to that nightclub. That doesn't make me crazy. It doesn't make me.
So you see, I agree with that viewpoint only because I agree with the viewpoint because like you do, when you have a certain level of trust, right? As a guy, as he said, as his masculine imperative, and not every guy sees things this way, but I feel the necessity to protect my family, to protect my girl, because my girl is going to be the one birthing my children, right? So that's a part of my family. Letting her go to the club, I'm not really sure of what can happen or what other guys can do to her, right? And she's also putting herself in a position where she's going to get a lot of guys' attention. It's not I don't think it's so much more about like not letting her go to the club as more as she shouldn't want to go to the club. And as a guy, I should be able to have the ability to say and choose, hey, I don't want to be with a girl that wants to go to the club. You know what I'm saying? So you should really think about what you want before you even get into the relationship in the first place.
Secure doesn't make me weak. She can always say I'm going to go anyway, and that's fine, and then we can break up. But in my scenario, any woman I'm serious about is going to obey me, and I'm not going to come along with some crazy, maybe people will call it crazy. I'm not going to make her do anything wrong. She ain't going to take drugs. She's going to go to the gym. She's going to eat right. She's going to be learning shit, and she ain't going to be in the club sniffing and drinking. Now, if that makes me a bad person, then so be it. No problem. But I get plenty of girls who sign up to that all day long. without problems. And any man who sits there and goes, I'm not insecure, I'll send my girl to the club. Send her to my table, G. Send her to my table. No problem. Send her.
Fair enough. Okay.
Yeah. How about insecurity when she's sucking dick?
Okay. You see that's bro, like he just said it like a G, bro. He just said it was like, yo, if you really don't feel insecure, send your girl over to that table, put her to the test, and then see what she does when you're not there. And then see what she does. If you really trust her, go let her do that. Let her put herself in that position. You know, like if you make that conscious decision to let your girl go to a club and sit at a table with other guys that clearly have more money than you, you're setting yourself up for your girl to cheat on you. Like that's the setup that you're setting yourself up. And women don't realize that. They just decide to say that, oh, women are insecure and they don't trust it. And there are men that are insecure. There are men that completely make up what a girl's actually going to go do in the club. But he shouldn't. It's not like he should ignore it. You get what I'm saying? He shouldn't ignore it. He should just be aware of it. That's it. He should just be aware of it and be able to communicate with his partner. And they should both know what they mutually want in a relationship, right?
Then, according to your mindset and how you see things, then, and your high levels of security, apparently, right? If your girl was to go to the club, right, and I was at the club, you're scared that I will bring your girl home.
I don't live in. It's not about scared because
if I'm scared, if I even feel remotely scared that my girl is gonna go cheat, then I shouldn't be with that girl. Like if I really truly feel that way, I shouldn't be with that girl. And I trust her enough to not want to go. If anything, you get what I'm saying? Are there certain scenarios where she should go? I don't want her to feel trapped because I think that's another thing that and in a women's perspective, that's how they feel. They feel like, yo, like I feel trapped. I feel like he's controlling my life, and that's not what I want in a relationship. I don't know what they want, but I know that's not what I want. I'm pretty sure guys don't want to completely control their women and all their entire everything they do. They just want to be aware of what they do. That's it. And a woman might feel controlled about it, and in that sense, it's like you can have like levels of communication open in where like she's communicating with you. She should want to communicate with you, want to make you feel secure if she feels that you might be iffy about it. You get what I'm saying? Like she should want to do those things. But you should also communicate it to her. And if she doesn't want to, and if she feels like, yo, I'm going to go to the club and do that, go clubbing and I don't really care how you feel about it. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. That's a woman with a single like mindset. And because that's how she's acting. So then she should just be single. You get what I'm saying? You shouldn't have to put up with that. If you don't want that, though. If you don't want that, you shouldn't have to put up with it.
I don't live in fear.
Well, I mean, that's fear.
No, it's not fear. What it is...
Okay, what is the outcome that you do not want of her going to the club?
I'll explain. I'm a territorial...
Guys coming over and bringing her home. You, by fear, you are scared of her going home with another guy. That is a move that is literally fueled by fear.
All right, I agree with XQC here, bro. I agree with XQC, bro. That is a legit fear, bro. Andrew Tate was talking about security before, and I feel like my girl may not be protected or like, she's putting herself in a compromising position. That is fearful, bro, because it's testing that trust. It is definitely, absolutely testing that trust. All right, so he is right. It is coming from a place of fear, all right? And that's how insecurities can essentially like start to develop and start to come out. So let's see what Andrew Tate has to say.
Fearful.
That's an interesting viewpoint, and I know you think that that's relevant, and I know you think you've made a good point, but I'm about to dissect it and show you why.
Go ahead.
I'm a territorial individual, and I think that being a man, one of the best things about being a man is being territorial, being able to say, that is mine. That's the whole point of it. So let's use an analogy.
So you see, I guess that this is where he feels like ownership towards somebody else, right? Because he feels like he's earned that level of respect. He's earned that level of trust. As a strong-willed man, that's what you want to project to a woman you want to be with, and that's a dynamic relationship that I want. You can choose to have whatever dynamic you like, and as long as both parties are consensual, then yeah, personally, I do feel territorial, and I do also feel a sense of fear. Remember, these are all feelings, all right? But we want to get to the logical reasoning behind it. So let's hear what he's going to say.
And please, when I make this analogy, I don't want you to try and get caught up in the analogy because I'm about to compare a woman to a car. Do not say you're comparing women to cars. That's low IQ.
See, that's like objectifying women, right? And that's how a lot of and if you were to sit here and talk to a woman about this, I spoken to other people about this, and I can see how it triggers them, bro. I can see how it's like, oh, they've had this conversation before, and they feel almost like they're not human and they're being disrespected just by using up an analogy or metaphor or whatever, comparing women to anything. They just don't want to be compared, period. But by not understanding what the other person is going to say, by not listening, you're not understanding the logical reasoning on why they feel territorial. That's how they express themselves, and they're trying to make you understand. So you just have to be open to listen to it. At the very least, just listen to it. If you want to disagree with it, that's fine, but listen to the whole thing and then disagree with it.
This is just an analogy. If I go outside, right, or let's say I have a Lamborghini. I have many cars, but let's say I take my Lamborghini. Would I park it in a high crime area? Even if the locks are fantastic, even if my woman is loyal and completely and utterly in love with me, and I know there's 0% chance any man could ever take her home because she's with the top G, which is the case. Even if I know the locks on my car, it has bulletproof glass, it's locked, you can't break into it. Will I park my Lambo in an area where people are going to try and steal it?
That's a good analogy,
I won't, because that is irresponsible. So the fact is, I don't.
You see, the point that he made was a very good point, bro. When you have something, because remember, when it's a sense of ownership. It's not actual ownership. I don't actually own you the way I own a car. You know what I'm saying? You don't own women in this way. You don't own your partner in this way. But it's that sense, that feeling of territory and ownership, and you have a certain level of responsibility as a man. This is how you feel. This is the terms that you want in your relationship, right? Or the ones that I want. I don't know what you want. And this is clearly what he wants. So it is coming from a sense of fear, man. It is. I don't know why he's saying it's not. But it also is coming from a sense of territory, of I need to be responsible for the decisions or for what I'm allowing somebody else to do with how I feel.
Care if men try and come up to my chick, because no one can steal my chick because I am me. The fact is, it's irresponsible for me to put her in a scenario where people were attempted. If I walk out to the car park and someone's trying to break into my car, even if the locks to my car are secure, I will still decimate said individual for attempting to steal my property. That's what it's about. It's about territorialism. It's not about being fearful the girl's going to run off with someone else. There's nowhere to go from me but down. It's not about that. It's about the fact that it's irresponsible for me to put her in that scenario.
It's still coming from a level of fear, bro. You can say it's territorial. It's both, bro. It's a sense of territorial. It's a sense of fear. It's a sense of territorialism that's triggered by fear, right? Because you want to protect. So it all plays together. It all kind of tailors together.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, the argument would be good. If I were you, I'm making that argument. I could rationalize the argument you just did if most of the girls that I dated or that I was with had the IQ of somebody who cannot move, think, or do anything, and is just stuck on the side of the fucking curb. So yeah, I guess maybe you would have this experience. If most of you did were 0 IQ, brain frozen. Yeah, but it doesn't make sense in the real world because you don't park your fucking girl on the curb at the club. They move, they talk, they do shit. It's not fucking. It's not the danger.
All right, yo, listen. This man is making a great point, bro. I gotta give XQC his points, bro. I gotta give him his points, bro. He made a great point. And he's breaking apart the analogy. He's saying, yo, a woman moves, talks, and speaks. That's why she's not like a car. Okay, so I personally think that the car analogy is not a good analogy because it's an inanimate object. That's why I think it's a bad argument. I think there are better analogies that might be just as impactful in that sense of controversy, and it might, get your brain flowing and be like, oh shit, I'm triggered type shit, And for me, that's a sense of like comparing almost a relationship with a person to the relationship you have with your dog or your pet. All right. Specifically more like a dog, because I have a dog. And the reason why is not because, like a lot of people feel when you compare a woman to a dog, and I get this completely, that, like you just think they're just like little filthy animals that get mistreated and just need to do everything you say, blah, blah, blah. And they completely live under you like a little slave type shit. And I get that, I get that sense of feeling. But that's not the real analogy I'm trying to make. I think there is a certain, I know there's a certain level of responsibility when you have a dog, bro. Okay, because that dog depends on you. They cannot speak. They cannot do things. They love you and they care about you because you feed them and you provide them shelter and you provide them all these things, right? And then as you put effort into that bonding experience with your dog, that relationship building with your dog, you need to train them and you need to understand what they want. You need to give them a treat, right? To get them to sit, to get them to spin around, to get them to bark, to teach them things, to get them to behave themselves, right? And that's a level of respect that's a level of respect and bond that you build with your dog. And then, you know, it becomes love. And this dog is very loyal to you because it remembers those things. It's like, oh my God, it's like, this is really the person I've been with for such a long time. And I've built this strong sense of loyalty with them, right? That's what I feel like a dog feels. And that's the way, you know, the relationship with me and my dog works, right? So it's this kind of that same sense with a person, except the person can speak. So I understand that they're not entirely like a dog. A person can speak and they can talk and they can think for themselves. So that's where the analogy ends at. And then this is where we get at.
Other guys doing shit, right? Because they can still think. And the loss of the potential that one guy out of a million will do some crazy shit and is going to forcibly bring her home, right? Is far outweighed by the fun and enjoyment and fulfillment that they get by going to the club in the first place.
That's interesting, but you also have to understand.
Wait, what?
Is far outweighed by the fun and enjoyment and fulfillment that they get by going to the club in the first place.
That's interesting.
So, you know, a woman gets a certain sense of fun and fulfillment in the club. You know, it's an experience, right? That's what they say to you. And I agree with that, man. I think there is a certain level of fun, sense, and experience. But tell me, what does a girl really do at the club, bro? They drink with their girls and they have guys that are at the club who are there to approach women. And if they're pretty, they're gonna get approached. You know what I'm saying? Often. So they're putting themselves in the environment. Why do they have to go clubbing? Why can't they do something different with their girls? Especially if their girl is single. Then what do you think the girl that's single is out doing clubbing, looking for another guy, looking for guys that are gonna hit on her, and then your girl is just there like, oh, okay. Like if that's a sort of fun and fulfillment that she likes, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just not what I'm looking for, right? And that's where you just have to have the level of respect with each other and just be like, yo, listen, we just don't align in that. It's okay, bro, it's okay.
But you also have to understand, because we are different individuals living very different lives. And I'm not going to sit here and comment on your relationships because I don't understand them, because I don't know them. But you have to understand that I am at a status of life where any woman who gets with me understands that to be with a man of my caliber, there are certain sacrifices which must be made. You do not get to be with a kickboxing world champion, multimillionaire, whose entire life is completely on track and live a life of spoiled princess, and then also say to that man, I go to the club whenever the fuck I want. You might be able to say that to some other men, but you can't say it to me. So, and I want to say something to you that you may not yet understand once again.
You see, and that's just him setting his standards, bro. And there's nothing wrong with that, bro. The same way a girl can literally go to you and tell you, hey, I don't want to be with you if you won't let me club. You get what I'm saying? But how many women actually do that? They wait till you're kind of in the relationship, and then they tell you, oh, yeah, I just want to go clubbing with my girls now. Like, yeah, this is my normal thing. And then that's where it's like you got to put your foot down, right? The same way as if when a guy wifes a girl that maybe he met at a club or whatever, and her normal thing is to go clubbing, and then he out of nowhere just wants to tell her, oh, hey, stop clubbing. That's not fair. That's not cool, bro, because she's not going to listen. Why would she? She was doing it before you got into the relationship. So she's going to be doing it during the relationship and after the relationship. She never switched up. You did. And now you feel some kind of way about it. So then you shouldn't have made that decision. That's your fault. As a man, that's your fault. You put yourself in that situation.
Because you are intelligent, but you're not yet wise because you are young. Women are malleable. And when I say they're malleable, people think that women are these individualistic, unique creatures. And they are to a degree, but they are heavily molded by the man they're with. You'll notice if a woman gets with a man and she loves him, she likes the same music he likes. The same
anybody's never.
It's true. It's true. But everybody in every relationship, they become like a self-reflection of their partner, right? So it's like That's why if you spend a lot of time with somebody, you start to pick up on their traits little by little, and you may not even realize it, but other people do realize it because it's that bonding experience, it's that empathy, and it's just that, you know, you really admire somebody and you really care for them. But for the most part, when there is a leader in a relationship, in that kind of dynamic, it's usually the supporting role or the co-person that absorbs everything that the leader is doing, that the person's leading. And it happens a lot, bro. It happens a lot. I'm not going to lie. It's happened in my relationship. So that's why I know these things happen. And it's happened in multiple of my relationships. If you ask me how many characteristics did I pick up from them, like not many that I imitate, you know, but definitely things I've learned from and things that I can apply in my brain. But no real characteristics that I take from a girl that I just are actually doing in my life. Like, not really, no.
Malleable in that regard with the people that they're with, people that are around.
The finish.
People are the fucking result of what's around them. That's just
correct. So what's malleable? So a woman which may say to you, I'm a unique, special snowflake, I do whatever the fuck I want. If she was in my presence, she wouldn't say that. Now, because women are a reflection of their man. It's not hard to get a woman who sits there and says, you know what?
He basically says all the things I'm about to say before.
I don't go to the club without my man because I adore my man. If the man is worthy of such adoration, if the woman's sitting there going, well, I'm with him, but he doesn't tell me what to do, that's the man's problem. It's nothing to do with the woman. Females are all the same. It's all about the man they're with. I have no trouble and no arguments in my life telling women they don't go to the club by themselves. Zero. It's not a conversation that even ever appears ever because I am me. So for you to sit here and describe scenarios, that's fine. And you're saying that my women are...
I am me. I am him. I am that dude.
IQ. I would counter that by saying if I was with the same women you were with, they'd behave better for me than they would for you. And that is because of my status and my wisdom and my individuality that
you treat and pay.
I do believe it's for sure absolutely the status that he's earned that with, and it's easier for him to do that with women. But there are men like me who are not kickboxing world champions, who are not multimillionaires, and there are the men who probably even have less than I do, which is completely okay. But the most important thing is it is status. But if you don't have the status, it's okay. You can still have you have to be able to communicate properly and lay out the framework for the relationship. The framework. That's important right there. That's how you set yourself up to not be in that position.
For them, like their Lambos that are parked at the curb. Of course they're gonna be like this if you want to go down that argument. So yeah, I guess once more I have to concede the point. Because you're right. I guess you dated frozen Lambos parked at the curb.
You see, now he's talking about the caliber. XQC is making a good point. He's talking about the caliber of women that Andrew Tate chooses. And he himself has said, if you watched my other videos, that he likes to date like young 19, 20, 21-year-old IG models who are very narcissistic, who have a lot of vanity, who care a lot about their looks and very low self-esteem. And those women, for the most part, are more more moldable. Why? Because those women know what he's going to provide, which is money, bro. He might not directly say, hey, I'm going to give you $500 for this. But she knows that if she pleases him in the right way, then he's going to reward her. So it's kind of like that positive reinforcement. Now, whether that's wrong or right, if it's consensual, it's okay, right? If it's consensual, if she's cool with it and she's agrees to it and she does those things without having to be asked, then yeah, it's okay. If you have to force somebody in that situation, and nah, that's where it's wrong. That's where it's morally messed up, bro.
It's not frozen Lambos. Saying to a woman
that is what you compare. That is your example. You compare the behavior and the potentials of her being stolen to a parked Lambo. Therefore, correct. I have to use that analogy when talking about the girls that you are dating. And you are
right.
I'm sorry. It's not an insult. You made this precedent. I have to use.
See, XQC is making a point, bro. This is the good way. This is the great way to make an argument, bro. Is to listen, actually open your ears and listen to what the other person's saying, and then use what they're saying against them if you disagree with what you disagree with. Because now they can understand you. A lot of people don't do that. A lot of people just get very emotional and just start yelling, bro.
Yeah,
I will take any woman I could date. Any woman I don't know who your girlfriends are. I don't have a clue. But any woman you've ever dated, if I was with her, she wouldn't be going to the club without me. That's the bottom line. And that's because who I am. the woman's paradigm, the idea that the female is going to come along and demand to only go club with the girls, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That is heavily dependent on the man she is with.
So what makes you above her then? The money, the status, the top G? What is the label or the...
Yes, the status, the money, the top G, all those things, the way he frameworks the relationship, the way he set himself up, that's all played through with the status that he's built over time. He's earned that level.
Is it that makes you above her?
It's not about being above. It's about her.
Yes, it is.
It's about her respecting me.
Therefore, you can't go to the club either. You don't go to the club then.
That's bullshit. I go to the club whatever the fuck I want.
Okay, then
when he said it's not about being above it, it's cap, bro. It is a certain level of control and being above, and that's how he sets himself up. You know what I'm saying? It is above. So it's like it's not like it's not true.
What makes her unable to go to the club if you can't go to the club? If you're equal,
I am responsible for her, and I have authority.
Why are you responsible? What makes you responsible?
I'm responsible for her because I am more competent as an individual. Now, before
how do you know that? All the girls. There's no girl out there that could be above you. You're above everybody else.
Well, let's because I know you're going to try and go down the sexist argument. Let's reverse.
I do want to hear the sexist argument, but the truth is that Andrew Tate has a certain level of confidence that is almost delusional, that he believes that he really is above a lot of people, whether he admits it or not, and he does admit it. He does admit it in other TikTok videos that I've seen. So it's that level of delusional confidence that women are attracted to. That's a fact, bro. Like you can't say I'm capping, bro. Women are attracted to that certain level of delusional confidence, bro. All right. I mean, look at it in rappers, look at it in movies, look at it in anywhere, bro. It's always the guy that's delusionally confident that's just the most attractive. And it's because they're highly optimistic and they believe in themselves so much. And that kind of mentality puts you at a higher level. If you combine that mentality with real life actions that you've taken and you've built something, then yeah, you're pretty much above people. And he does believe he's above people. So,
I mean, you bait it. Okay, listen. You have driven this conversation since the beginning. I gave you I gave you the initial roots argument or point, and you are driving yourself there.
Cool.
And so you are drawing a circle around it. I didn't do shit.
All right.
I said, what makes you above her? And you're not giving me an answer.
It's not about being above. It's about having responsibility for.
So why do you share responsibility?
Okay, because you can't share responsibility because nothing in life is 50-50.
All right, he said it's not about being above. It's about having responsibility for her. But it starts with being above, and then, like I said, in the framework of the relationship, you build trust, you build respect, and that level of respect comes with a certain level of responsibility. As a man, you have certain duties and obligations that you need to provide for a woman without her having to ask. And the same thing the other way around, bro. A woman has certain duties that she should provide for her man without needing to ask. And all these things should be talked about in a relationship together. That's what builds that communication, bro. It's sweet.
There's always, even if it's 49%, 51%.
Okay. Then why you?
It's me because I'm me. This is the exact point. Now let's reverse it, which I've been trying to do for the last 30 seconds. There are women out there who are with men, and that man needs her to tell him, stop playing video games, stop smoking weed, go to the gym, get your diet in order. Why don't you ever work? Why ain't you got any money? There are millions of relationships out there. In said scenario, she has responsibility because she's his mother and she tells him what to do. And she has authority. She can tell him not to do shit because she's the fucking boss.
You see, that's that level of relationship where it's like a woman knows she's dominant. And the man knows he's submissive, bro. The man knows he's lazy. The man knows he doesn't want to get up. The man knows, he doesn't have or hold that level of authority because he doesn't flex that in his life. And that's why that dominant woman can sit here, and if she gets bored of him, she can go cheat, blah, blah, blah. And listen, if it's consensual, it's okay. You know what I'm saying? That's not the kind of guy I am. That's not the kind of guy he is. I'm pretty sure that's not the kind of guy any of these guys want to be. And they don't want to find themselves in that position. But if they don't think about it and they don't know what they want and they put themselves in that position, it's their fault. It's the guy's fault. And that's how they build up that anger inside, the insecurity inside, all that ugliness. So a woman really needs to be aware of, is the guy really happy being that way?
It's happened. It's not about a sex thing. It's about human dynamics. And every relationship someone's in charge, and I'm in charge of my relationships, and I find it irresponsible of me to put her in a scenario where something could happen to her.
But
Carry on.
Sorry to interrupt you. I just think what a good point was. I can interject. Since you're making that point, right? The problem with these statements is that you say girls. You always say girls or my girls, right? Intending that it's all of them. What about some girl, right? Who, right now, hypothetically, is a multi-trillionaire, right? And is in your kitchen right now, and she comes away right now. The door opens behind you. We see a little glint of light right behind you right now, and he says, "Hey, Tate, get the fuck off the computer, drinking his bullshit with his stupid cigar, talking to that fucking double on your computer," right? That could happen, right? According to you, no, it can't happen. Why not?
It can't.
I don't know where he came out with that crazy hypothetical, bro. What the hell was that, bro? What the? He just said that's not the framework. That's not the framework that he sets up in the relationship. That's not the power dynamic that he wants in a relationship. There's nothing wrong with having standards as a man, bro. This man
happen. I'll tell you why. Because you said some girl being a multi-trillionaire. There's plenty of women in the world who may have a lot of money. Yeah. But you have to understand that when you look at life, you have to look at life in the different paradigms. There's many different lenses you look at life through. And when you look at life from a societal perspective, yes, women are equal to men and they should be, fine. But when you look at women from an animalistic perspective, because we are basically animals, they are not equal to us physically. When it comes to something like personal safety, which a club involves a lot of, they can get spiked. A man can try on with them and lose his temper. They can get attacked. Whatever can happen. When it comes to physical protection, that is a man's realm. You could be a UFC world champion, female, whatever. I'm too big and I'm too strong. I'll still beat him. So there's no female alive who's going to come into a room and tell me when it comes to things like personal protection, responsibility for her own personal safety, etc., and trump my views. That's not true. I'm a man, have certain domains in which I rule.
Okay, then in this line of argument with the things that you just said, I'm trying to go one by one. So I have to be selective about how I'm doing this. Okay, what you're saying, since you brought up the fact you can get spiked, is that you, Andrew, if you go at the club alone, because the girl is staying at home, she has to stay home, she's boxed in. You go to the club because you're such a fucking warrior, and you get spiked heavier than your drink, you drink it, you will not go unconscious because you're such a fucking lion, aren't you?
It's not about that. It's about the fact that if the woman was with me in the club or if the woman couldn't protect me, that's not the woman's domain. It's down to me and my team to protect me. The female has absolutely no say when it comes.
All right. See, I mean, I never thought about that dynamic. So it's good that they're bringing it up. You know, this is how we learn, bro. This is how we learn, boys. This is how we learn. All right. So every man of status who is successful, right? They always talk about surrounding themselves with the right people, with a strong network. So in that sense, it's like, does a woman feel like she has, I guess a good question would be, does a woman feel like she has a sense of protection towards her man, right? And that's the point that XQC is bringing up. And I think that's a great point. And Andrew Tate is rebuttaling by obviously saying that I surround myself with people that I trust, and they're the ones that should be looking after me. My girl doesn't have to do that. That's the way I live my life. That's the way I set up the parameters in my life. My girl needs to focus. Or essentially the way I would see it, if I was in Andrew Tate's position, is my girl really needs to focus on like supporting, I guess, you know, I see XQC's argument, bro. I see XQC's argument. So I agree with him, bro. W.
The things like personal safety. She has
so she can't have a team around her. She can't.
A team of chicks? A team of chicks?
Of anybody.
Send your girl to the club.
Did I say chicks? Did I say chicks?
Oh, a team of dudes. Cool. You want to send your girl to the club with a bunch of dudes. Cool. Your prerogative. Enjoy. Hope you have a nice, long relationship.
Yo.
Well, I mean, my relationship will be long and fulfilling. I can't say the same to when you treat people like this. I mean,
like saying that you don't go to the club without me, we'll go together. Oh, I'm the worst man in the world. Oh, no, don't take your girl to the VIP table with you. Oh, don't do that, Andrew, you misogynist. Send her out there with all those other dudes. I'll tell you what, bro. 87 professional fights, 4-time kickboxing world champion. How about this? I'll protect your chick. Send her to the club with me.
Bro, you can be the biggest lion out
See, bro, you wouldn't want that, bro. You would not want that.
there. You can be the most Chad-like bald guy out there, okay? If your drink gets spiked, you're dropping.
That's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making is about the respect that she will have for me for protecting her and my responsibility over her and the authority that comes with it. It'll be about the fact that I don't want my woman in the club without me. I think it's disrespectful, and I don't think that any woman who truly loves a man even wants to do that. Women test boundaries as they should. And I'm about to make another comparison. That
All right, look, I'm done with the comparisons. I think that we got to the point, bro, with the whole clubbing situation, bro. At this point, it's just kind of going back in circles. I hate just the same fucking bullshit analogies. The point is very simple. All right, you don't tell your girl that she cannot go to the club. You don't do that. You don't sit here and tell her, hey, no, you don't go to the club. I'm not allowing you to. You don't be forceful on somebody like that. That's messed up. It's very simple. All you have to do is lay it down before the relationship begins, or you give her the old ultimatum, bro. Pretty much, if you really do feel uncomfortable with that, and you feel like, yo, listen, this girl wants to move single, there's other aspects in her life that really is a little sus, and she's just moving differently. She's moving like she doesn't want me or needing me in her life. And that's where you just give her the ultimatum, bro. You let her go. You gotta let her go. You cannot force anybody to do anything. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me. Peace out.